Hey folks, welcome back to Straight Talk Whiskey, episode number 16. I'm Nick, and thanks for joining us midweek for our second and last Jack Daniel's liqueur review of our mini-series. Last week we did Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey, if you want to check that out. So I just decided to do this, like I said middle of last week, just because I had it around, and it is becoming a big thing now, especially after the whole Fireball craze kind of is making a resurgence now. You start to see it everywhere. Just going out to local places around here, I'm always seeing people asking for it. So I thought, why not? Jack Daniel's is trying to step into the game with their version, basically, of a cinnamon, a little bit hotter, spicier, if you will, liqueur. Trying to get into that market. So that was their answer with this. So this liqueur is bottled at 35% ABV, so 70 proof, which is, I believe, a couple points higher than Fireball is. I've tasted this before, and I don't really see much of a difference that the ABV a little bit higher in proof changes. So it's really insignificant there. So so what we have here, and not a lot of people talk about this part, is on this bottle you will see, and not sure. Probably won't be able to get it on the screen, but right here it says caramel colored. So you might be pausing the video at this point and thinking to yourself, well, how can American whiskey be colored with caramel? Because we thought we didn't deal with any of that nonsense. But because this is a blended whiskey slash liqueur, it's flavored with Jack Daniel's calls it a red hot cinnamon liqueur. Because it's blended with that, it can have caramel color added. So what you see is that there is caramel added to that, for sure. So that's just a little bit interesting, because it is very difficult to read through all of the legislation that we have here on the addition of flavorings, caramel coloring, and that sort of thing, and what governs those laws and how much they can if they're not labeled a certain way. So basically, I guess the quick and dirty of it is just, Tennessee whiskey, American bourbon, that sort of thing can't have these flavorings, colorings added to it, or other things like preservatives or something. Can't in that sense. But if they're blended whiskeys, which means that they're composed of straight whiskeys, basically aged for at least 2 years, they can have a little bit of caramel coloring added to it. I believe it's like no more than 2.45% can be added to it. So it's a very insignificant amount, but still, we don't need it. At least in my opinion, I don't think we need it in whiskeys, but that's, just my opinion. So that's just that. You can look it up. It really gets kind of gray area about it. But let's get into this, because this is just going to be a little quick review, and we'll have, as I said, this past weekend, this upcoming weekend will be the Jack Daniel's single barrel. So that will end that mini-series in terms of the Tennessee whiskey, like the standard recipe that Jack Daniel's puts out. And then we'll have 2 reviews for Jack Daniel's Rested Rye and Unaged Rye. So that'll be interesting. But let's go in for a nose. Now, the first thing that I get is kind of the the red cinnamon candies, the red hot dollars, definitely. Walking into a candy shop, I know growing up my mother always loved those, so that smell is definitely ingrained kind of in my memories there. Walking into the candy shop, she would first go, straight to to those candies. Yeah, definitely. And there's no real spicy kick to it. With Fireball, you do get a little bit more of kind of a punch to it, but I'm not getting that here. And basically, I think the taste will prove that as well. So let's go in for a taste. So the first thing you'll notice is that it's very smooth. It's got a sweet beginning to it. Like a nice little, like any other liqueur you might add, it's basically Fireball without sort of the heat attached to it. There's a touch of cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, but on the whole, it's the liqueur that overpowers any of the Jack Daniels that's in there. Basically, I think the Jack Daniels is their, standard recipe there, standard mash bill, Black Label, number 7, Jack Daniels. Is in there, basically mellows it out a little bit. Just surprising, you might think that would add a little bit of a kick to it, but really it just kind of tones it down, especially in the finish, because it is kind of just a smooth, slightly oily, sticks there for a little bit, but yeah, so that's basically what role that plays. So again, this would be a great thing to mix with cocktails, just like I said with the Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. Now, you might have some more creative ideas to what this could be put into. I'm not sure exactly what would be a great fit for it. The best thing I can think of is probably Coca-Cola. Can't really think of too many other drinks that you'd mix with this because I personally don't, so I don't really have knowledge as to what that would be. But, just leave some comments if you have any thoughts on what you would add it to. But definitely pleasant. It's definitely, Jack Daniel's on the bottle here says to keep it chilled, which is fine. It tastes fine like that, but I also think it's nice in the summer because it's not this really overly hot, on the palate, but it's kind of smooth. Keeping it chilled or cooled is great, but I would have it at room temperature still, still the same basic thing. I don't think it's going to alter it that much. I've had it both chilled and, leaving it out at room temperature, and both are pretty, palatable effects. So, that's it. I'm not going to give it a review just like the Tennessee Honey because I don't taste enough, varieties and flavored whiskeys and liqueurs to really pit it up against anything else. So, that's it. Quick and easy. For Straight Talk Whiskey, I'm Nick. You won't have to wait too long. We'll be around. I'll have a review on Sunday for you. And enjoy the rest of the week. As always, drink responsibly. And we'll see you next time.